Hello, everybody. It's Wednesday. Can you believe it? It's already in the middle of the week. So, try to tell my friends, happy to have you all here with us today. I'm sharing this moment with my friends from France, from UK. It's a wonderful time. Today, we're going to talk about virtues and vices. And this is a very good discussion. And as always, please give your comments, send your comments, your questions, and we're more than happy. We will try to answer all, and we'll try to do our best in order to make this hour in a very 15 minutes. Looks like 15 minutes. Okay, so my dear ladies from UK, how are you? Let's start with you, Elsa, today.
Okay.
Just
Good evening, my dear friends all over the world. It is really a great joy when we sit, think, read, and talk about something very important for our daily lives, virtues and vices. So we can meditate what this means for our living, our existence. So I hope you will enjoy it. I hope you can put your question, your suggestion, your comments that will be enriching our life. Thank you for participating and be with us. Thank you for Charles, Stevan, Silvia, that we are together and carry on our duties. Thank you.
Miss Gibbons.
Hello, good evening, good morning, good afternoon to all those who are listening to us. Once again, we are together. And as we say hello to everyone, welcoming everyone to the meeting today. We pray that we will have a good meeting, some positive, good ideas to strengthen us to difficult moments that we're all going through now. And it's always a pleasure to be here with us, all of us together, talking about Spiritism and learning a lot and sharing with people as well that are out there far away from us, but close to our hearts. Welcome, everyone, and I hope you enjoyed the meeting, especially that today is 02/02/22. We are the 2nd of February, 02/02/22.
First day of the new Chinese year.
That's right, yes. The year of the tiger, isn't it? As
Yes.
well. So anyway, welcome, and it's God bless us all. Thank you.
Bon, bonsoir, Charles.
Bonsoir Stevan, bonsoir à tous. Très heureux d'être à nouveau parmi vous ce soir pour partager quelques idées. Enfin, ce ne sont pas mes idées ou nos idées, ce sont les idées qui nous sont parvenues par la philosophie spirit sur cette question des vices et des vertus, qui est traitée de façon magistrale dans le livre des esprits. Et on va essayer de vous transmettre un peu quelques-unes de ces connaissances aujourd'hui. Hello everyone, very happy to be here again with you, like every Wednesday. February already, so days are a little bit longer now, it's a little bit milder, temperature got back positive, thanks God. And today let's talk a little bit about vices and virtues, which has been, as usual, very well treated by Allan Kardec in the Spirit's book. And we will try to transmit to you some of these thoughts today. Thank you for being with us.
Wonderful. Okay, introduction done. Let's start to work right now. And before we work, let's watch excellent video to give us the introduction of today's topic.
Talk about enemies, about reincarnation. We have many existences. Every time that we come is one reincarnation. Each reincarnation, we are improving or sometimes committing another death. Every incarnation, we are evolving a little bit. But in these incarnations, all of them, we are making a lot of enemies. The ones that are envy, they don't like that we are evolving, we are having families, children. The ones that we killed in 3 or 4 lives, the ones that we steal things from the past life as well. Everything is related to the law of action and reaction, or I can say cause and effect. It's not God that punish, sending our enemies. No, it's ourselves that are provoking the situation that we have many incarnations in the future to slowly improve and make peace with our enemies. Our enemies, our brothers and sisters. We should ask forgiveness for them. For example, when we are praying, if something is going wrong today, tomorrow, 3 or 4 days a week, I can perhaps I'm doing something wrong or against someone. So I can pray. If you have some enemies, please forgive me if I did something wrong against you, because you are my sister, you are my brother. I love you. We are sons and daughters of God. So we have the chance to engage in a friendship again. We can talk to them. Yes, because all of our enemies one day will be our friends. We are here to evolve together.
I like this lady who was talking in the video. I don't know her. If you know her, if you know her address or contact number, please let us know. Let's bring her for an interview here with us.
4 years younger. Was.
See? But still here, strong. That's the good thing. So, good evening, Faye. Good evening, Leah, Guilherme Dias, Jay Amaral.
Judith.
Who?
Judith.
Judith, Thais. That's good. Ruben from Uruguay. Let me see what Ruben started here. Hello, I have a 40 years old cousin going through a very difficult economic situation. I tell him that this is opportunity for a new man to be born. Yes, my friend. Every challenge we have, it means something we have to learn. But let's discuss this a little bit today. And we need to be focused on our incarnation. It's very important. We don't throw away one more incarnation. So, as I like start talk, giving a little bit of a manual at the beginning of our talk here, and today I will give a short chapter 129 of the book. I forgot the name of the book. Wow. Oh, it's not here. Oh, Living Spring. Okay. Emmanuel says, During our existences, we collect distressing and conflicting situations that we need to hide under masks suited to the circumstance that surround us. But we spend so much energy hiding them that when wounds are open, it is as if we lack of energy. A void is created to continue fight. In view of this, we understand that the greater the transparency of feelings, the greater the energy available to face life, and much faster we return to balance in the face of any situation that may momentarily disharmonize us. Regardless of the evolutionary stage in which we find ourselves today, we all seek the same goal: evolution and happiness. So, in other words, Emmanuel is saying to us, we need to face our challenge. Challenge is not something will punishing us, it's not something to put us down, it's not something will take away our happiness. It's the other way around. It's just uh, uh, the wrong to make us more to make us stronger. And saying that, I'd like to start today's discussion with our friend from France, Charles. And Charles, we know what is virtue and what it is vices. But how we know when we are being virtuous?
Okay, good questions indeed. Good question indeed. So, as I told in the introduction quickly, Kardec treated this point very wisely in the Spirit's book, the third part, the third book of the Spirit's book, which is about the moral laws. And there is a chapter 12 in it, which is entitled Moral Perfections. And you have a subtitle, Virtues and Vices. So it's questions 893 and following until 900 and something. So, okay, I will answer, of course, by taking the ideas out of this quote. And just we know what is vices and virtues, of course. It's linked to what we discussed already a little bit in a previous live about what is good and bad or good and evil, where the reference of the Spiritist philosophy is not what is written in the Spirit's book. The reference is the law of nature. Good is all what is in harmony with laws of nature, and bad or evil is all what is not in harmony with the laws of nature. Okay, so that's basically the thing. Now, how do we? Your question is how do we? What is the criteria to know if we are
Virtuous, if we are being
virtuous or
virtuous.
vicious? And one of the criteria, very simple, is also a question of the Spirit's book, which is saying, where is written this natural or God's law? And the answer is, it's in our conscience. So this is the first trigger. If we have good conscience, first we have to develop this conscience, of course, because you have people at the beginning of the evolution where the conscience is not yet really developed. They are they have no consciousness basically. And the conscience, when you listen to it, when you have good conscience, is that you have done something good or something virtuous. And if you have a bad conscience or I shouldn't have done that or whatsoever, is exactly the opposite. Is most of the time when you have done something wrong. But Kardec is going a little bit deeper in the subject. He's first asking in question 893. Which is the most meritorious of all the virtues? And I'm just putting a quote of the answer, not all, because it would be too long. The highest virtue consists in the sacrifice of one's own interests for the good of one's neighbor without ulterior motives. The greatest merit in that is that which is based on the most disinterested charity. So criteria that is coming back and back and back, that the spirits answering to the questions are really strongly insisting in all these questions. If you go to them and read them, you will see, is exactly this word disinterested or disinterestedness. And this is really the key here. Do we do something to have any type of benefit for ourselves, or do we do something just for doing it, just for doing good, just for helping, without awaiting anything in exchange of what we are doing good? And this is also a very strong criteria in order to see whether we are rather virtuous or not. Because as soon as there is a personal interest somewhere, or as soon as we are awaiting a reward, or as soon as we are trying to avoid a punishment or something like this, there is already some interestedness, and then it's not fully virtuous. And this is exactly the subject you like also, Stevan, a lot, about autonomy and heteronomy. And the heteronomy typically is, if you do that, you will have that consequence, good or bad, and so on. And if you want to go to heaven, you must do what the Pope is saying or whatsoever. And if you don't want to go to hell, you must absolutely not do that or whatever. And the Spiritist version of it is, if you want to go to No Solar, you have to be a good person. And if you don't want to go to the umbral, I don't know what's the word in English for that, you should not.
Lower zones.
Sorry?
Lower zones.
Lower zones, yes. That is what you should not do. And this is exactly the heteronomous approach, okay? And the pure, true disinterestedness is using your autonomy, using our free will for doing the good without awaiting anything in exchange. And the charity itself is typically this. It's the biggest of the virtues, as we have just the most disinterested charity, question 893. It is a charity is only charity when it is disinterested, when we give something without awaiting anything in exchange in return from us. So Kardec is then developing a little bit more the subject in the next questions. For instance, some people, they are good, they do charity. It doesn't require them a lot of efforts, while some others, they must struggle a lot to be virtuous, okay? And Kardec is asking, why is this? And the answer from the spirits is also very simple and straightforward, is those who do not have to struggle is those who have already made some progress, who have already made some steps in the evolution path. So they struggled also in the past, but now it got something natural out of them, something which is automatic, something which doesn't require them any effort anymore. On the other side, the one which still need to do a lot of effort for it is because there is still some way to go to reach the perfection. Okay. And so he's digging also a little bit more in the further question, 895, where he's asking, what is the most characteristic sign of imperfection? And again, the spirits which are answering are saying self-centeredness. Self-centeredness. Okay. So again, this lack of disinterestedness. When we do something in our own interest, and which is even against the interest of the collectivity. And this is typically a the most characteristic sign of the imperfection according to the spirits. So this is exactly what we have to watch on ourselves first, of course, because when we look around, we see a lot of people, I would say here in France or some probably a lot of other countries, when you see people who are fighting to get power, political power, or power into a company or whatsoever, they are seeking first their own interest, and only then the interest of the company or of the nation or of the population and so on comes only in the second place. And this is basically a sign of imperfection according to the spirits. So we have the intellectual evolution on one side, we have the moral evolution on the other side. And the persons which are more harmful for our society are the persons, the people which are a high intellectual evolution and a low moral evolution. Because those people, they use their intelligence in the vices to do things which are bad, to do things which are not good, basically. And those are really the most dangerous one. And we should really, I mean, if you have someone like this in a group or whatever, it will make your life and the life of the whole group or even of the company or even of the country very difficult. And it's exactly a confirmation of what the spirits have answered to Kardec already 165 years ago now, or soon. Because what we can see also, you have a lot of individuals, they are very kind persons, you know. People were, oh, this person is very good. And all of a sudden something happens, which is, in French we say, touching where it hurts, you know, touching where you have the pain, like the doctor. And then all of a sudden you see this person is exploding and being completely different. So we may think that this person had a lot of virtues, but in fact there were a lot of vices which still are in this person and which were only waiting this trigger, this hit or whatever, this trigger, I think it's the best word, to make the vice pop up again. So it's very it's not always very easy to see it, principally when we look to ourselves, when we are trying to analyze ourselves, if we are already what virtuous or not. And often also what we can see from what Kardec told is your enemies, you should listen to them, because they will really, without filter, even maybe willing to put you down, but they will say things which often are, because there is no smoke without fire, you know, this is also a French expression, I don't know if it exists in English. So when they come with something, it may be exaggerated, but when you analyze really, I think he's not completely wrong on this one. So we have a lot of things to learn also from our enemies in order to make our self-improvement. Okay, so then is also the way, the virtue is not the people who have a lot of money just to give it off like this and in an unorganized way. No, we should have the judgment and also give it in order to make the best out of it, to make the best use of it. And so I have to stop now because I'm taking too long time, but I really encourage you to read these questions 895 and the following. It's giving a lot. I still have a lot of things here that I painted in yellow that I wanted to say, but otherwise it will be too long. So just one more answer to 897. One must do good out of charity, that is selflessly. And this is the best sign to know if we are really capable to do this, then yes, we have progressed somehow in the sense of being virtuous. Thanks a lot for your attention.
Wonderful, my friend. Wise words as always. Just for general knowledge here, Silvia informed us that umbral is umbral. in English. It's good for our vocabulary, because we're all learning here the
Your
spirits in
mic is,
the
is closed, Silvia, is mute. She tried to
Yeah.
speak twice.
No,
No.
yes, it's from the word umbra. Umbre.
From the Latin.
It's from Latin. It's an area of shadows, of darkness. Like when you have a moon, an eclipse of the moon, it's called the umbra. It's that dark part that you cannot see. So it's the area like that. Yeah, you can say umbra.
Thank you. So, write that for your vocabulary. Umbral is umbral. Okay, so I have some comments here. Also, hello to Rodolfo from Uruguay as well, my friend. Good. Our Edir Paixão from Fortaleza, and good to have you here, my dear friend. Always working with suicide prevention. It's a wonderful job, blessed by God. So, Thais Gimbernal said, Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing. I believe we need to develop ourselves to better live with others, be comprehensive, forgive, and be conscious of our actions. That's it, my dear.
Said and done.
I believe that's why we have coronavirus to teach us this lesson, but it's difficult to get it.
Amongst others. Huh?
Yeah, that is exactly what you said about different people and how we understand and see others' actions. We all have limitations. Yeah. Rodrigo, my friend. Rodrigo is not with us today, but soon he'll be here. Don. Don said he's 5 inches nose there. So, see,
Yeah.
he's better.
Better there than here.
We never say I'm the worst, because always we find someone more trouble than ourselves. Yeah, good. So let's keep going in our discussion here.
Stevan, while you are looking for, I would like to say hello, welcome to Ivana Raiski, the president of Federação Espírita do Estado de Goiás, FEGO.
Oh, good to have you here, my friend.
She's so busy and she finds time to come.
Yeah, it's wonderful to have you here.
It's nice.
And also all your works with the conference you give during the carnival holidays in Brazil. It's wonderful. God bless all your team. Thank you for your wonderful work as well. So, Miss Gibbons, I'm trying to give you time to think.
Thank you. I need all the time in the world.
Yes. This is easy one. It's not the shortest answer of the Spirit's book, but it's very, very, very small, short answer. The best way to resist the evil is knowing ourselves. The question for you today is how to do it. See?
Well, it's an easy question, difficult answer. It's easier said than done, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think it was Thais, wasn't it? She put an explanation there before. And the whole thing is that we know what we need to do to put this into action, into practice. That is the question, isn't it? That is the question. How do we resist evil? By knowing ourselves and how to do it. How do we do it? I mean, Charles gave a really good explanation on the question of the Spirit's book. And he said, it's very important actually for people to go and read this after the thing, after we finish here, because I'm sorry. And if you also read the question 918, because I think that will reply to you. in everything that was said, what he says, the virtuous person, the real virtuous person, they don't know they are virtuous. They have already, like as Charles was explaining before, the person has already worked through this, maybe many lives, and they come and it's naturally, their actions are natural. They just give and they just do because it's natural to them. And normally the person who is virtuous, they don't know they are virtuous because they lack something that is the opposite for virtue, which is selfishness. They don't think about themselves. They already have gone beyond that. And I think that's the trick there, isn't it? When sometimes we have good instincts, we want to help, but we're not quite there because think, oh, but if I do this, but then I won't be able to do that. It's so cold to go out today, or it's too hot, or whatever it is. So in a way we think about ourselves. So while we still have an amount of selfishness that is higher than our desire to do good, then we will have a problem. And I think that's what we need to know about ourselves, how good we really are, but not measuring what we do. But I think the satisfaction that one has when one does something good, it can be a completely a simple thing, because like, say, for instance, the tube used to be really busy, and to get at certain times of the day to be able to get a seat was like a miracle. But every now and then someone would offer you their seat, or you would give it to someone, and you could see in their face the relief that they would be able to sit down. And you felt good about it because the person, felt, you could see that you were really helping someone at that time. And I think those are the things, because when you do something naturally to give, it makes you feel good, I think, about doing good. And I think that's the measure that we have. And when we don't think about the consequences of what can we get in return, and I think that's sometimes as well one of the difficulties. I do good, but what can I have in return? And actually, in the Spirit's book, Kardec talks about that. Is it wrong for a man to want to, do good because he will have a better life in the spiritual world? And he said no, because you need to try to improve yourself, but also you must not expect to get anything in return. So I think for us to know ourselves is to stop and think, what have I done? What can I do to help someone? And it can be something very simple, can be a smile. I remember once Elsa telling me about someone she met in the bus stop. I don't know if you remember that, Elsa. And the person was very upset, and you talked to her, and you were able to talk to her, and she said what she was going to do, that she was thinking about it. And I mean, just a smile and having, a word to that person, you change her life, maybe completely for the many, many years that she had. And sometimes we are not aware of those things. So we need to be open to reach out when we see pain, when we see difficulty. And the best way for us to know ourselves is to measure, how would I feel if I'm really that desperate and someone talks to me, breaks that circle of negative thoughts that I'm feeling. When someone actually says good morning to me, how do I feel? And I think if we start thinking about how we would feel if it was being done to us, is a way for us to begin to change the way we see things and we do things. Because here he says, in the characteristic of the virtues of the virtuous person, he says that a true virtue person combines the essential quality to be good, charitable, hardworking, sober, and modest. This is from the Gospel, actually, chapter 17, when he talks about virtue as well. And the main characteristics of virtue is modesty. So you give, and then the opposite is pride. And he says also that a truly virtuous person is unaware that they are virtuous. And they never ever will call attention to themselves, because if they do call attention, oh, see how good I did this and I did that, then it's selfishness, it's self-love, which completely defeats the purpose. And I think, the question as well, have I done all the good that I could do? That's one of the important questions that we put to ourselves as well when we think when we're thinking about if we are good or not. And I think I think Charles made the point as well that when we do something good to someone, without we do good when you sacrifice on behalf of somebody else. And I think sometimes in situations like this, we tend to think of only the big things, that you could give millions of pounds to something that's happening, the poverty, that you could do this and that. But sometimes it's so easy to reach out to just someone that's near us, someone even in a family, within a family that are going through a difficult time, and we can do the small things like Saint David, the patron saint of Wales, used to say, do the small things, and correcting ourselves, doing, would I like someone to be kind to me? Yes, so be kind to them. Would I like someone to help me in a difficult time? So do what you would like people to do to you that would ease the difficulties and the trouble sometimes that we have. And also, I think one of the things as well that they say here in relation for us to be virtuous and how can we achieve this is something that Jesus taught us, indulgence. To be indulgent with other people's difficulties, their weaknesses, because this sometimes we don't know the struggles that a person is going through. We think, oh, they are so selfish, they are so this, we tend to see sometimes what is negative in people. And I think to learn to see what is good, what's positive, because we all have something to good on us, and if we look for what is good, we find it. And to be indulgent, to try to understand how the person is, what they are feeling, and do not judge, because we ourselves need others to be indulgent towards us. We ourselves need to have people to forgive our mistakes. We ourselves are in need of someone to understand that at times, we make mistakes. And I think that that's one of the most important things, because it goes to what Jesus said, he who has not seen, throw the first stone. And I think to me is one of the most poignant parts in the gospel, because you have that ferocious crowd, and there was one woman in amidst all these crazy people trying to stone her to death, which is the most painful, horrible death that you could inflict in a human being. And they come to test Jesus, and he says, well, he didn't even look up, actually, because he knew what was in their heart. I said, if you don't have, the one among you have no sin, be the first one to throw the stone. And they all leave, they all go. And the woman stays there by herself. And I think sometimes that's what we need to remember, that indulgence that Jesus gave to her, and how It was a way of changing her life, brought people to their own conscience. And then, when do I do things like I'm criticizing another person? I think that's a good question there. And it's very, actually, that story is quite beautiful because Amelia Rodrigues, in a book about the ways of Jesus that she writes for Divaldo, she tells the story of the woman. She goes home after that, and she's so afraid. And then her husband found out as well, and then they decide to talk because he feels that he was guilty as well. In many ways his behavior forced her to do things that was like, and they move away and they go and start helping people, which is was a complete transformation of them. So it didn't stop there in that square, it went on, and it was a way of transformation not only to that woman's life but also to the husband. And in the end they help so many people. And I think that's why be kind, be indulgent, because virtue is not only giving things but also being able to forgive, forget, or even if you can't forget, but at least forgive and understand and be unselfish with your love, with your friendship, with your kindness, because small things means a lot. As I said before, that story that Elsa told me, it touched me because it really is a way of transforming. And the only thing she did was smile and say 2-3 words for a total stranger that she met in a bus stop. And we ourselves, I mean, if you think about, we all have little stories like that, or someone we didn't know and we met and we did an act of kindness to them, and we forgot about it. But I think if we think about, all of us have. So I think it's very important to, in trying to be kind to yourself as well. How I would like people to treat me, and treat others according how you would like to be seen and to be treated. So I think that's how we would try to do it. I mean, just a stroke, really, but it's the beginning. It's a beginning.
Thank you, my dear. Yeah, it's a everyday exercise. Sometimes it's gonna be easy, sometimes it's gonna be difficult, sometimes you will succeed, sometimes you not
We
succeed.
fail. Yeah.
So
But like they say, if you don't succeed the first time, try and try and try again.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Never give up. Be perseverant.
Never, always forward, never backward,
Perseverance
always forward.
always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have here some comments. Uh, Thais, she's giving recommend a book, The Power of Habit, from Charles Duhigg. Is a good book to read if you are trying to break a bad habit. Thank you, Thais. Thank you. Also, our friend Rodrigo Ortega from Spain. He's not here with us, but he's helping us. The path to succumb the evil is lack of faith, because fear dominates us and lead us not to trust God, making our selfish choices. That is why faith is one of the three virtues mentioned by Paul. See? Helping us, helping us very much. So also Thais, she let's go to Rodrigo. Also compliments. He said we need to be charitable with such people, practicing our indulgence and forgiveness. This is a trial for our evolution.
Stevan,
Yeah,
this was indeed already an answer to Thais' question just above.
yeah. Now it's her, because I wanted to give the full. Now it's Thais' question here. How to live with a person you believe is bad, if you cannot just walk away, like a family member or a coworker. Who wants to answer that question?
So
Charles?
Rodrigo answered it already. Huh?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah,
you
yeah,
say you believe you bad. I think first of all try to see what is good in that person, because they must have had something good. And it depends on the relationship you have with the person as well. If it's someone that you really like, someone, because we like people irrelevant of and if you are able to talk to the person and say, and just say how you feel and how they behave affects you. If it's someone that you can talk to, you talk to them. But if you can't, and if it really is difficult, the only thing is prayer. Pray for the person and pray for them and pray. And whenever you think about them and you're a bit upset or they've done something, just pray and pray and pray, because it lifts something. I don't know how, but it helps you to be stronger and less affected by what they do. I find that if you are not able to talk to someone, especially the example they gave at work, sometimes is not always appropriate for to talk to that person. Prayer. I can't think of anything more that it can give you more support than pray. I had this more than once, this experience, and being angry, and I didn't have the same structure of holding on to anger and hatred than the other person, and I felt defeated. But then I started to pray and pray and pray, but really with my heart, wishing all the best, always imagining that person surrounded in lots of love and light. And I felt so good, and they seemed to disappear, and it
yeah.
didn't affect me anymore. So I think if you can't sort it out, pray and pray and pray. Works for
Good.
me.
And
I could
also,
maybe
understood now you said, Charles. How do you answer the question? So I thought it was a
exactly, yes,
compliment.
sorry. And I would maybe complement to what the answer of Silvia by saying there are two things that you shouldn't do. The first thing is under-evaluate yourself, because then this person can be motivated to put more pressure on you. The other thing is not over-evaluate yourself or taking from fighting against him, because this also will immediately make a kind of a feedback of the conflict itself. Just stay neutral, objective. And as Silvia told, you need to protect yourself by not under evaluating you, and also by, how to say, if you took already awareness that this person is really bad or is really doing things which are, let's say, not fair and so on, okay, now you know who it is. You know that this person is not one of the best one, or maybe this person has something against you or whatsoever. So from this, then if you think you are doing, let's say, giving back the good things, continuing doing your work, or depending on the situation, in a neutral and objective basis, then you can clean your conscience, have your conscience quiet, and this gives you also resources to, how to say, not be too much affected when you are suffering from that person. So basically, to suffer less.
Yeah.
And my experience is also in the work, principally, when some taking us, you bah, 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 and you just give a very straightforward, neutral answer, and the person is, she sees that this tactic of under evaluating you or fighting against you is not working with you. Generally, as Silvia told, they disappear. They go and take some other people. And so you have given an example to this person and give her a chance to become better. And if this person takes this chance and becomes better, you solve your problem as well.
Yeah. Thank you, Charles. Just one question. Answer on a question. Leonardo here is asking if we will have face-to-face meetings in Dublin. Leonardo, we will, but unfortunately, right now, the venue we used to do our meetings closed down. So we are looking for a new home for ourselves. By the way, if you know something in the city center, let me know. you know, and we are recruiting helpers to find us a home. And thank you for stay tuned. And I'm pretty sure soon we will have this sorted out. Okay. So, my dear Elsa, I didn't forget to you. No, you're mute. You're mute. So I didn't forget to you. We're just trying to let you breathe a little bit. Okay. So this kind of come across with the question from Thais and answer us what the tools we have to uplift ourselves in these imbalanced moments.
I think at the contribution that Charles and Silvia made and Rodrigo are totally in tune what I was thinking about, because exactly what we should do. Prayer with serenity, understanding, being silent most of the time. Don't fight against other people. Don't devaluate yourself or supervaluate yourself. Is one thing. But I was thinking before that, for example, in the chapter 9 of the Gospel, according to Spiritism, blessed are the meek and the peacemakers. All virtues and vices are inherent in the spirit. If this were not the case, where would be the merit and responsibility? Okay, I was thinking about a child that will receive as a son or a daughter, little baby, a old spirit, so many incarnations before, come to our family. And my duty as a parent should give a good education, a moral education, teaching since early ages in this education of morality, the separation between vices and virtues. Um, Give more the opportunity for the child to see the examples of virtuous person and talk about these vices, jealousy, pridefulness, and so many things, gossip, etc., that make our life a mess. So the child is seeing the examples of the parents in a good family. Of course, if this spirit comes with all these vices and virtues that he inherited in the spirit, will diminish according with the education that he is receiving, the way that you receiving treatment, the way that you have a dialogue, at least a family that makes the virtues the most important: charity, helping around, seeing poor with kindness, help someone that I think commit suicide, talk about, help the person that already lost their families or someone thing. Give yourself more than for you, you give outside. You have, if you have this, as Sylvia pointed very well, when person does this without thinking about, it's because he or she achieved this way to live your life, whatever you are living, if in shanty town or downtown or a palace or a cabana, doesn't matter. You will be a virtuous person, a kindness person, a charitable person, the person that has benevolence, using indulgence and charity towards everyone, everywhere, as much as we can, without making any efforts. It will be natural. When you think someone that has no food to give to the little ones at the end of the day, so your heart is crying and you can help, you can do something, you can buy something, go there and give to the family or the charity, the NLG, non-governmental organization, and help them to help others. you are doing what should do. So everything, this kind of things make us be more equilibrium with ourselves, knowing that the devices make a mess, make this umbral in our society, and the virtues make sunshine, bring light towards everyone around you. E- Even when you are facing difficulties, problems with someone, as is pointed, member of the family or your a co-worker, you can be charitable, you can understand, you can have compassion. In most of the time, don't fight back. Silence and prayer. Put the name in some books, that your books of prayers, in our sub sessions, sessions or mediumship meetings, that we can help to prayer, help these spirits, inverted commas, that are um, inspiring this person to be more vitiate person with these vices, to transform this person. We are here to evolve. No one will go back, but we can really start now and go forward doing good. Okay?
Thank you, my dear. Also, Victoria Elena, she has a question, and she's asking if there is any face-to-face meetings in London.
Yes, we have. Most of our groups are still in lockdown, but we have Thursday evenings, our SSL, Spiritist Society of London, 6:30 p.m. She can write to me or my WhatsApp or leave her contact here. I can send to her. Also, it will be Sundays, 4:30, study and lecture, 4:30 to 6:30, fraternity in the Stockwell, near the station. And also, soon, next week, I think, the other group will start as well. So I have to see which one. But I know that will be three groups, okay, physical assistance and studies.
Great, great. There's a compliment here for Leonardo. Leonardo, no worries, my friend. We're here all learning, and uh, we do have lives every Tuesday and Thursday from 7:15 Irish time to 8 o'clock ish. And also on Sundays, 11:15, 11:15, we do have our Sunday talk. And today, Wednesday, we have all together. Okay? So, hi, Helsoli, good to have you here today, my friend, as well. So we have a lot of people today. It's very good. Okay, so let's go to our announcements, or you guys want to compliment something, say something?
Uh, I put it here. If you can, Stephen, please send
Yeah,
our.
put it here and you paste and copy here. Yes, no problem. Meanwhile, I will do our announcements. Okay. So let me put it here. And you guys don't believe this. It's about almost 1 year we are doing this show. It's amazing. And in order to celebrate it, we will have the full team. We will be crowded here next Wednesday. It's gonna be an amazing. Unfortunately, we cannot hug each other, see you all, but we can send our prayers, send our good vibrations to you. So next week, on the 9th of February, one celebrating 1 year of program, we will have the full team, and the topic is the Spiritist mission. Okay, so don't miss this. I want to see a lot of people like I'm seeing today. Thank you very much. Uh, every Wednesday, our 15 minutes coffee break with Kardec. Munir guide us in beautiful reflection about Kardec, and it's amazing to see it. It's available, on Facebook every Wednesday, 4 p.m. London time. Every 2 weeks we do have Gabriel Diaz and Rafael Caldas with the show Time to Talk, conversations on mediumship. And it's amazing to see how these two guys talk so easily about mediumship. It's wonderful. Don't miss this. Uh, Also, we do have uh, on the no, well, no.
No, we have two lectures already done. One seminar, a lecture about
Okay,
the virtual mediumship meetings in Portuguese, in English. So we have both links. So if the people wants to watch in Portuguese or in English, how it works, virtual spiritistic mediumship meeting. Okay.
okay, good. Thank you. And also on Saturdays, 10:30 London time, we do have the Mediums book course. The coordinators are Guilherme Dias, Munir Gariba, and Charles Kempf. So don't miss this as well, guys. A lot of events in English. And in April, we will have almost 40 countries talking about spiritism. It's going to be an entire month with short videos, short insights given by all spiritists around the world. Don't miss that. We will have a date. And and that's it. And that's it. Um, Let me see here. I saw. Also, we do have some spiritists from Estonia. Good to have you all here, my friends. I don't know, Elsa, if you know them. So,
Olga from Tallinn,
Olga.
Estonia.
It's Olga. Olga. Okay, so let me.
She's a member of European Spiritist Gathering as well.
Yes. Yes. So, Victoria, I'm putting here, I'm in the comments box, the places where you can find the meetings in London.
The Spiritist
Face
Society of
meeting.
London. That is Thursday. Okay. I didn't put the order because I don't have it here on my hand now. This is my group.
Well, they can always consult the BUZZ website, isn't it? You have there, don't we?
Yeah, go to Buzz website and you can have.
Adriana is working yesterday, probably today finishing. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, that's it. My friends, thank you.
Mas
It's a
sou tough.
wonderful time. Thank you all. I love when we have this interaction from everybody. So thank you. Be kind, be brave, stay
Okay.
tuned, and I'll see you next week. Let's wear our Christmas, our birthday hat, Christmas birthday cake. So
We have an
let's do it.
anniversary. We have an anniversary.
Yes,
First
anniversary.
one.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank
Merci,
you. Good
Charles.
night.
You're
God
mute,
bless.
Charles.
Bye.
Bye
Bye bye.
bye.
See you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.